Thank you for tuning in. I'm Robert, and I'm here with Chris from One More Game. Say hi, Chris.
Yo. Howdy, howdy.
We're here commentating Sanctuary's FNM, and we've got a great lineup here again. We've got Awesome Rusco on Wilson, Refined Grizzly, Far Traveler. We've got Clay in position 2 on Heritage Druid. In 3, we've got Dax on Gut, True Soul Zealot, and Inspiring Leader. And going last is South on Galanra, Collar of Wirewood, and Glacian, Power Stone Engineer. So are you familiar with these decks at all, Chris?
I've seen everyone except for Galanra.
I think that's about
I know
where
what
I'm
they
at.
are. Yeah. What the hell did he play? What did he play first? Wilson's.
That looks like it's Sleeping something. It's from
Yeah.
Wilds.
One of the newer ones.
Yeah. Anyway, you can activate it for like 3, and it gains power equal to the number of enchantments you have in play.
Pretty solid start from Clay, though. Holy snipes.
Yeah, the turn 2 with the I want to call it Nest Shambler. It's the Untapper, Nettle Sentinel. Thank you.
Yep. And then into a bear. Okay, he's got a pretty reasonable start here.
Vivian's Grizzly is exactly. It's like I would say it's maybe one of the best cards in the deck, in that it's just a mana sink where you can pay mana into it over and over, and look at the top, pull a creature out of it, and put it in your hand. And that's all an Elves deck wants to do.
He's off to a phenomenal start with the Heritage Druid.
Yeah, and that's what we saw last time was this Heritage Druid deck. It comes out of the gate really quick, and it's probably going to be the number 1 threat at the table, at least early on.
Well, that's the biggest thing is Clay's trying to transition to a far more aggro base rather than control, because basically after seeing what Ryan's done, I feel that he sees that the mid-game is really where a lot of things are starting to happen more often. So if you're able to push through and get enough power on the board quicker, there really isn't going to be that mid-game.
Yeah, you can choose people like you're a problem, you're not a problem anymore. If you have the power to just like end a person. And Erosium does chime in and say that it's Slumbering Keep Guard that Wilson played.
Okay.
And now they're playing one of their tappers that's important for Far Traveler.
Yep.
Looks like an Ethereal Armor on Wilson.
Oh, that's a great turn.
Yeah, and so like this is where like the ward, it's so early that no one's gonna be able to stop you from doing this.
Correct. Wilson's just one of those commanders. Like if you get it out quick, it's very tough to deal with.
Yeah, and it's always coming out turn 2 unless there's something better.
And going from a turn 2 Wilson into an Ethereal is a pretty solid start with that. Even though it's not huge right now, that could spiral out of control very quickly.
So it looks like there was an attack out of Wilson and the Slumbering Keep Guard. Looks like Dax took 3, I think, from Wilson, and then South took another, like, 1?
Oh, okay. That's a insane curve he's on right now.
What's this card on the right?
That is a Territory Stomper, I believe. It's got Tox 3. It's from Phyrexian LB1. Tyranax Atrocity. It's a 4/4 haste Tox 3.
Thank you.
Let's see if my skills with Scryfall are fast enough.
I appreciate it. It's really hard to identify cards like this.
Alright. 3-hit kill, very spicy. Yeah, you were absolutely right. Alright, Gut's coming down. I'm hoping to see Gut more prevalent more in the next coming months, just because it's died down a little bit with it. You have the Arabella players going offhand, but I think that Gut still is far superior in a way.
It's in that awkward position where it is so threatening that a lot of the time it eats a lot of the removal. And it's a victim of other players' like threat priority, and so you don't have a lot of agency over the game. So I think it takes a special kind of person to be able to queue with that deck over and over. It's hard.
Right. You get some solid ramp going over from Galanra though.
Yeah, and we're going to see a turn 3 Galanra.
That's not bad.
You're gonna be able to start drawing them cards.
Is the Power Stone in there just for the blue?
I assume that being able to draw cards like this and generate a bunch of mana is I think we have seen this on an FNM before, but it's just like it hasn't stuck fully.
Mm-hmm.
Is this an armadillo cloak on Wilson?
That is an arm cloak. I think it's now a 5/5 is Wilson.
So the armor
Two
gives
from
it +2/+2, and then the
Imperial is number 2.
yeah, and so
And
that's
Wilson's just at the 6.
that's 6 at a minimum. I think. I don't know what this dice on Wilson is. I don't think that those are counters, but I do think it's a 6/6.
The number of enchantments, I believe.
Hmm.
That would be my guess, given it's a 2, I think.
Yeah.
So I always feel like with the Heritage Druid decks, like you can get off to a very solid start, but it can burn out very quickly if you don't find the right answers for your opponent's creature. Because again, it's mono green, so it can be a little bit difficult to establish that responsiveness other than just gumming up the board, you know.
Yeah,
Like
it's
right
not a
now, he does
responsive
have
deck. It's a question
Yeah.
mostly. I think the biggest thing, the problems that I'm seeing for Clay is that one, he's not not untapping his Nettle Sentinel, and two, he's not finding land. I think he's missed
Yeah.
2 land drops now. We're on turn 4.
Correct. All right.
That's a Glistener Elf, which is
Maybe
mostly
he's
just a
trying
role
to
player.
slice in Infect in the deck, maybe?
No, I think just the number
That is
of 1
entirely
mana
a course,
elves is what I've heard that's in there for.
That's where I wonder as to where the atrocity comes into play. Like, obviously, it's a very good. It's a 4/4 for 5 with haste, but because I've considered adding the. I've had a few decks where I basically add that as a finisher with the toxic,
Huh.
just to help clinch out a little bit.
Well, I mean, there is a Timberwatch elf in play now that just came into play this turn, so it still has summoning sickness, but that taps to add power and toughness to a creature
So
equal
it's
to the
good.
number of elves. What the number of elves right now is? Was it 5 or 6?
5.
Yeah, so we're at 5 now. He could put someone at 6 infect. If he finds a Curian Ranger, that's lethal. Like, you just get to do it twice. But he has been a bit pinched. I think he may have been able to do a little bit more if he did untap that Nettle Sentinel, which then he'd have 3 elves that he can tap with Heritage True again. That would at least put him up to 4 right now with Vivian's Grizzly. So he could activate Vivian's Grizzly, because I believe it is 4 to activate.
4 to correct.
But this could be a ploy. There could be a reason he's not doing it.
You gotta figure he is low on the mana right now, so maybe like trying to allude from the fact of what he may have in his hand ready to go on the following steps.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, we're into Dax's turn now. It looks like that's an Everflowing Chalice on 0, which looks exactly like some gut fodder here.
100%.
So no Inspiring Leader pre-combat.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, he must have something. He's 5 cards in hand, so the tank is still pretty full for a gut deck. This is Wilson.
Where's it going?
So I think Dax is saying, like, you're looking really you're threatening with this Wilson. You've been attacking me because Dax is at 21 and there's only really been one person attacking.
Well, I think that he's holding back 5 mana potentially if he has a removal at 3. It could be even like a gen gift or something like that. I think that's why he didn't play the Inspiring, just given the fact that he would have at least 1 blocker. I think he's just trying to press in a little bit.
We'll see. There's no way that he just passes.
Also, given the fact that like there's lifelink on Wilson, so it's like, is it really even worth chipping in the damage right now? You know, on Wilson specifically.
The mentality that players get into, and I'm not saying it's wrong, it's just what happens is, if I don't now, the door's closing. Slumbering Keep Guard is just going to get bigger, Wilson's just going to get harder to kill, and they're just going to have more life. So I have to solve this problem, or it becomes unsolvable, and I just have to let, like, Clay do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Follow with the matron, so let's see what he's searching for.
Is this Goblin Chirurgeon?
Maybe that's a Chirurgeon.
Yeah, it's a weird way to spell surgeon, I believe.
Yeah.
But I do believe you still pronounce it Chirurgeon. I don't know. I'm slowly becoming, like, a magic orator. Like, when I do, like, a gameplay video or something, I will go through and, like, look up all the cards that I don't know how to say. You know that seat of the Synod is pronounced seat of the Synod? There's one
No,
right
it's
now!
not.
Oh my gosh!
Wow. Okay, wow, first off. That's crazy. I still call it Synod. I think it's Synod. Not Synod. Alright, Glassion's out though.
Get a card draw off of Galanra. It's the turn with the single blue up.
Oh, Bobby's in the chat.
Oh, Snowstorm. It looks like Bobby.
Yep, okay.
So YouTube. Bobby wasn't here to start the tournament, so I had the FNM. So I just had to. I mean, Dax helped us out by rolling a D8, and we organized some pods. I hope you drive safe, Bobby. I've totaled a car in a snowstorm, so just take it slow.
Mm-hmm.
Elvish Visionary out of Wilson to draw a card. That helps a lot. Every single creature, especially something like Elvish Visionary, is perfect for helping to block the menace skeletons. Now that Rusko has this Wilson so huge,
Yeah. What do you really?
you've got to think about, like, Clay could maybe pull something out with that Glistener Elf. That's a threat. Dax is starting to be less of a threat now that, like, you have blockers, you have life gain. Gut doesn't do commander damage. But then South is also just, like, cooking down there.
Yeah.
Looks like Dax just takes it to the face. Just
He's getting right on
shy.
the edge of just shy.
Goblin Matron jumps in the way just to stay alive.
Get a little bit of pokes.
Pray for no mutagenic growth, you know.
All right, got his third land, but Glistener Elf is something's happening with it right now.
It's like activate Heritage Druid for 3, pay another 1. You meet in a tavern.
So they're getting larger.
You don't think it's a
One
value
would
one?
guess.
It does look. No, he's reaching for the top. That's a look at the top 5.
Okay, interesting choice. All right, he got the trample, which is a big thing that he needed to dig for when it comes to the elf,
Yeah.
and even the toxic creature as well. So that is a good hit.
But still, I mean, none of those look like
Specific, like
they destroy an aura, which I think is what you want right now. So okay, that Wilson is those dice. Those dice are throwing me off. It is a 6/6, I believe those are denoting.
Power top. Okay.
I was like, is that a 12/12? Because I wouldn't put it past Wilson. Maybe not a Wilson on 3 lands. Like, do you use your creatures to attack, or do you use them to activate Heritage Druid? And it looks like the latter.
I think it would be given the fact that he now has a trample creature. It's going to do another visionary style.
Landamore Visionary. Did I call the other one Landamore Visionary? That was Elvish Visionary.
They're all the same to me.
Yeah.
I did say visionary.
It's Elfish.
Yeah. All right. I think Clay's just trying to just gum up the board as much as he possibly can. Because right now in the overall board state, the only, I feel, direct immediate threat is the Wilson. But past that point, obviously, Clay has established a little bit of decent of a board. But he did use the Tavern to now dump that out to dig a little deeper. So it really doesn't have any, like, massive pump effects at this point right now. And Galanra is just chilling for the most part. Again, she is now out with Glacian. So anything could happen. Potentially digging in 3 deep right now. But it's still...
Hold on. So the creature that is next to Nettle Sentinel is Weatherseed Elf, which I assumed was pretty irrelevant because it's a 1-mana elf that I don't know, but it's a 1/1 that has tap. Target creature gains Forest Walk until end of turn.
Oh.
That hits. That
is the errata your creature or just creature in general?
It's just creature.
Because that could be used with the sense of Wilson against another player, potentially.
Well, anybody Clay wants to kill the Glistener Elf. Is the Glistener Elf... Yeah, it's still there. That plus the Timberwatch Elf is almost a 1-turn kill for anybody with a forest.
Correct.
That's crazy. Dax has something to say about it of his own. He's going to play Inspiring Leader to give all of his
Yeah, I
tokens
feel like
+2/+2. Something I've fallen for in the past is that I think it's just for the skeleton tokens, and then there'll be like a 1/1 that makes like a dude with flying, and it's just a 3/3. That's gigantic in the
Yep.
air.
No, it can really, if you have the right board state, I think that's the reason why like it really helps put aside like Arabella versus Gut Leader is the Arabella if it gets a swing, and obviously that's fantastic, don't get me wrong. But the same concept is like it's just an attack trigger and anything can be sacrificed. But then if there's any tokens at all get huge, which is fantastic. Alright, got a third skeleton on the field now.
So
The other
two
two
of
were
those,
not attacking.
yeah. What? That's Dax has got the fear in him. I mean, these elves are. That's quite a bit of power of elves over there. Just choosing not to play an anthem and instead just going for value. And then I wonder where this gut is going. It must be somewhere pretty safe because it didn't die.
One thought I'd say just throw it at South Lakes,
Yeah, just to generate another skeleton.
Yeah.
I think that win it Wilson, that attack or the skeleton. Because I don't see enough health missing from anyone else or a block. I'm trying to remember the name of this guy. It's Sharkless Outlander. South plays 7 mana, has trample, 6/5, basically encycling for 2. Just gonna play that, able to draw a card off of Galandra and pass the turn. This one's gonna untap. Still has not been able to put Far Traveler into play. Just lack of mana, honestly. It looks like their tapper is what ate it. Here's another tapper. This is Ceruli Caretaker.
I think he's just trying to build up a little bit more. One of those why not kind of moments.
That's just a pass. Pass out of Wilson.
Oh, okay.
Progressium says the untapper chumped the hasty toxic creature from Clay.
Oh,
I see. Thank you.
got it. If there's no trample on the hasty creature, the big dude over there.
The Boreal Druid. They're going to tap to give a creature Forest Walk. And then it looks like he's tapping the Timber Watch Elf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To give a creature +8/+8. It looks like the Glistener Elf is also tapped, so I think that's attacking. Oh, I bet you that it's attacking Brusco, who already has like 1 poison counter or something.
It'd make more sense. When it comes to toxic and infect, you have to just dump it when you can. You can't really spread that out that well, otherwise it'll just backfire on you way too much.
Yeah.
Infect's just one of those abilities that people are just dying for it to actually work. Yeah.
Well, part of the nature of playing a deck like Heritage Druid that you're going to get on the board fast and you're going to look very threatening is that as soon as you can remove players, you just do.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, this is Wilson scoops it up. Looks like that was lethal with infect.
Okay. Because he gave it Forest Walk, so that was the.
It's nothing that they
So
could have
in
done
essence,
about it.
right now, South Lakes needs to go after Clay because he now is dead to Clay on the kickback because of the Forest Walk ability. And then Clay's just holding a bunch of blockers right now to go against Dax's board state.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. And South gets a whole untap step to come up with a solution.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where it's enough of an answer potentially.
It does play out the Nylea's Forerunner, so everything, other creatures he controls has trample. It seems like that'll be pretty relevant, even if, like that's for Dax. Also, it's just a giant blocker.
100%.
And Clay's all the way at 30. Has not taken
it hasn't.
nothing.
which definitely is pretty insane to see. No focus on him. I think that when you're on a board with a Voltron-based commander, I think that instant draw. Again, obviously, you go burr with elves, but seeing a Voltron, given the fact that you can die literally with one single hit, I think people put a lot more thought. Oh, I need to remove this player. Period.
I have been seeing that a lot lately. When I see anyone playing Wilson, they do get focused down, and people get very scared of not being able to attack them. Orosium says, "What happened? I came back and Wilson's dead." Clay was able to tap Timberwatch Elf to give Glistener Elf enough power plus Forest Walk, and just there's nothing you can do about this. Kill you?
Go boop.
What the conversation is right now. It looks like we're in Dax's turn, and he's playing makeshift munitions, and I think Clay is answering questions and tapping Timberwatch Elf, saying, "This is how I did it. This is what I used to murder Wilson."
Yep.
It's very painful to activate a makeshift munitions for Dax, though.
He would lose. But I guess you can always just, like, swing most of it into South Lakes. Or most into Clay on the other side. Just try to just dump a bunch of damage into it right now. And then use the makeshift as like the finisher for it.
Yeah, I think that Boros Signet's probably going to be sacrificed, and he is attacking. I think just ramming as many creatures into Clay's wall and saying, well, your Timberwatch Elf counts the number of elves, and I'm attacking you for, this looks like a casual 24?
Yeah. He may just take... I think in this position that it may be okay to take the 24.
I don't think you're wrong.
Because, I think he blocks one. That way he's still out of a good reign of the makeshift munition. Because he, in theory, could sacrifice all 6 creatures, you know? If he took 24.
Yeah. That would be
So I think he blocks
crazy,
one
though.
of the creatures with the Visionary and the Arboreal Druid. And then just take 18.
I would be willing to give up both of these fatties. I would say put both of them in front of one skeleton. You're going to lose one of them. That's fine. One for one there. And then you're going to take the other ones. That's 18. You don't lose any elves, which is, I think, the most important part. But I'm fine losing Trample, and I'm fine losing just a fatty with Toxic.
Well, I think against Dax's board state, it's best to block with the bear and the fatty, and then leave the trample there. Again, Southflakes hasn't done anything yet. He's more so just chilling. So who knows what could happen out of the blue.
Yeah.
When it comes to...
It's interesting to me that you are willing to give up that Grizzly. I have been able to outvalue Gut pretty much every time if I just hold on to some way to generate advantage.
Yeah.
So that's what I would be holding to. Just like, the Vivian's Grizzly will generate more of. I'll just keep doing that.
My thought is because the Gut Infusion Rain is only going to block 3 potentially, so if you buff up the Glistener, it'd get plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right now. So it'll be 7 goes to 9. So Trample potentially could go over and get a little more value if he's got a mutagenic or another effective such.
You're gonna love this, everyone. So remember that rules change where you can't order blockers and then do stuff with Timberwatch Elf? That before that could have meant you're able to block with 2 creatures, buff the front one, and then you'll never lose anything. I mean, that's like an every turn that could matter, and that could be another creature that Clay loses. Just pointing that out, because I've gotten in a lot of online arguments about people saying, "Oh, it never matters," and I'm like, that's just not true.
No, there are still some times.
Springer, rip combat tricks. Yep, I'm just gonna put salt right back in that wound.
Yep.
It does look like Dax passed. There was an untap from South.
Yeah, he just swung into Clay. Clay took the 24 and passed over to South Lakes. It's a little nerve-wracking being that now with a full grip of all that 5 mana right now on Dax's side.
Yeah, insane. So uh if South is able to, like, I don't know, cycle a Windcaller Aven and give his 6/5 flying, that's just it for Clay. There's nothing with reach over there, right?
No, they're all on the ground.
I think South is on 5 cards in hand. Simic deck, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's just been sandbagging, generating mana.
All right, Clay's doing a mini shuffle of his stuff. So who knows what's happening in the act.
I think he's waiting for South, and South is in the tank. Maybe.
I think South is really scared of what's to come because he is faced down to potential losses right now from either side. So I feel like South is just more so just try to build up his hand, maybe even crack the relic just to draw a card and see if he gets an answer to things. Because there's nothing we can really do with the board state right now. You can't really swing into Clay. You really can't swing into Dax because you're gonna leave yourself so wide open.
I think
And
part
the two of them are just gonna go back at each other right now. So
I think a lot of the card draw in this deck is just activating Galandra every turn and slamming a fatty. And that takes up a lot of your turn.
yeah. All right, so let's do.
Clay just face downed one of his cards. Is it phased out?
I think it's a phase. All right, I'm gonna try to do some googling.
There's only one printing of Vanishing, and it's not that. So there was a Timberland Ancient out of South, and then what the heck? Okay, so there was a Thunderclap. Dax sacrificed
So
a
there was a
mountain.
munition
Oh,
trigger and a clap after using the munition with the children.
and that
to remove
killed.
trample.
Yeah, the Nylea's Forerunner.
So he's left back gut right now.
Redeploys the Heritage Druid for 3. That's just able to immediately refund its mana.
Correct.
South is definitely in the position where they're not going to help kill either of the other players. They're just going to block. They're just playing... Duke says it's Cloak of Invisibility. Okay. I don't know why Clay turned that card face down. We correlated those two. Well, I say we.
Yeah.
It was me. Hello, I'm the problem.
Gains phasing, but like, what are you gonna do? Like, why is it down?
Cloak of Invisibility. Creature gains phasing and cannot be blocked except by walls.
Oh, because it's going to his turn. It phases out.
Oh, at the start of his turn, it phases out.
Yep.
Yeah, and then so next turn it'll phase back in. Okay. I don't know why this didn't come up when I... Oh, I think I typed into phases instead of phasing.
I typed in phase. All right. So now we have some things that need to. It might have to be something here. Because right now Clay needs to find an answer. Otherwise, he's probably dead.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're at 8. Oh, that was a Evolution Witness. Wait, is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's an even wit. Clay loves that card.
Oh, it's like maybe the best card in green.
Yep.
Repeatedly bringing things back from the graveyard, just as long as you can put counters on it, and those things are permanent. One of my favorite things lately has been to loop it with Implement of Ferocity or Ecologist's Terrarium. A Terrarium's a lot slower, but now South is the one still at 26. Still successfully flying under the radar.
You left back a lot of blockers. They didn't really do anything right now.
So Timberwatch Elf is no longer in play, and that was Clay's big way to win the game. So I think
Correct.
now he's just on probably
Major
activate
defense.
Vivian's Grizzly and Evolution Witness as many times as possible.
Probs at that rate.
Is that Grim Initiate out of Dax? 1/1 when it
Yep.
dies, create an
Take a
army.
1/1, yep.
Mm-hmm. That army is going to start as 3/3. Dax is getting down to he's down to 1 card in hand. Grim Initiate represents another skeleton and or more makeshift munitions activations. The very combat focused pod for sure.
Yeah.
Makes it really difficult when you get down to the 3-player pod and everyone's like kind of capable of killing each other, but only one other person, and so then you have to like slow roll it and try to make the other person be the one to kill the guy.
Yeah.
That's where things like, okay, like you've done that, and then you're going to try to kill me, where like fogs and like kind of like your secret weapons, your Uno reverse cards come into play, like your hidden removal spells or whatever. But that's why people end up like holding on to that stuff so long that the combo players or whoever's the problem gets out of control, is because they want to have that in their back pocket when they get into that situation. And it's just a really tough balancing act for everybody to have to deal with. So we're in Dax's turn still. If the card in your hand is a land, if it's a plains and you're Dax, where do you attack and how much? Chris?
I'm just thinking, like, it's just like, where do we go here? Because, like, if he swings in, he's just leaving himself open. Is it really worth dumping it in just to see what happens? You know?
Yeah. It looks like he's. I didn't see him pay mana to activate that, so I think he's just saying I'm attacking with.
He's moving to combat,
Here we go. Okay, so I was going to say I think a measured approach where you leave maybe 2 to 3 back, and then just starting to chip in and say like these are 6-power creatures. You have to deal with them somehow or lose the battle of attrition. And no, he's just.
He just said, "You do this. You figure it out." Okay.
Has 4 mana to dismantle a small attack.
All right.
Absolutely does look like it is a Clay. He's going to set up a couple blocks.
I don't think he has enough to block period. Because 1 will still get through, puts him at 2.
Uh-huh.
It's not really advantageous just more so just to take it. And just say it is what it is.
Oh no, you never say if you tell opponents if you're going to attack me for lethal, it won't cost you any creatures. That's how you get attacked all the time. You make it as painful as possible and make people remember, no, this'll hurt. He's gonna do everything, because like there's been a couple players that show up to my stream repeatedly. There's after blocks, Dax is gonna sack. Anyway, that they start doing that, and I'm like, it like factors into my math, and I can't help it. Where I'm like, well, if I know that you're not going to like put up a fight, then you get out of the game now.
Yeah. All right, what's happening?
Oh, those 2 killed Galanra.
Whoa! What are we missing here?
So he attacked Clay, made Clay block with everything. 1 still gets through. Sack 2 of them that would have died to kill Galanra. and hamstring the other opponent you still have to worry about. I think that's a really good attack.
That's not bad. Yeah.
Another one bites the dust,
Yeah.
and we're down to the 1v1.
Yeah. But yeah, he's also only down to quote unquote two zombies, two skeletons right now.
And I have to imagine that card in hand is probably just a planes or something. I think I saw one that he kind of flashed as he was drawing it, which is why I keep saying it.
But when you have the point of that much, you more so just leave it in your hand, Boris, I feel. Don't, that way you skim it. Hey, it might be a burn spell.
Yeah, and I think that there is a non-zero number of, like, what's it called? Tormenting voice effects, where you discard a card and do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How gross those white borderlands are.
I'll sim it down. The sexiest lands there are.
At least Chris thinks so.
I 100% know so.
Right. What? It looks like a...
Artico's Serpent.
Sword Coast Serpent, and then there's a Pyroblast, or a red elemental.
And a Pyro, or that's a Pyro. It doesn't matter. It's still fantastic.
Yeah, just counter it. No, you don't get to send it on an adventure. That goes to the graveyard. It's not the first time I've seen Dax just hit something amazing off of a Pyroblast. And that also explains why it's been in his hand this long.
Yep. That is definitely something you said you wait for the right moment.
Okay, we're officially in South's turn. So they've got the 6/5 Reach Trample? The 6/5 Trample. And then Glacian. Oh yeah, Timberland Ancient does have Reach and Trample. I just wanted to double check that. So that's 12 trampling power that Dax does not want to block. But, and I don't think that either of these players can kill each other outright within, you know, well, like
not the current, yeah.
This turn and then Dax's turn. On after that, South would be able to, but it's not like immediately. What matters most, though, is I think we've got like another turn. Comes back out, followed by an Ornithopter of Paradise. Those creatures do swing in.
Yeah. Okay.
South just bets, I don't think you can kill me. Is that Reckless Lackey?
Yeah.
1/2. Yep. First strike, haste, pay 3, sacrifice it, draw a card, and create a treasure. Card, another permanent, another skeleton if you get rid of the treasure, but that leaves him with 1 mana available.
Yeah, there's no way you can get 26 in right now with the 3 creatures on the back end. And the top deck was the Lackey, so
yeah, I think Dax just had felt like he had to remove Clay as, you know, he's gonna kill him on the crackback, but then he didn't have the answer in, you know, in play, in hand. It was just like I think I might get there, I have a good chance here type of thing.
Yeah.
And it does feel weird to win games off of the back of that, of like another player is just like, well, I take my 1 in 10 odds that I can do it, and this is my out. And then you're just like, no, I have the answer. I don't want to say I've hardly done anything all game, but I think we've had 1 attack out of South and hardly any attacks incoming.
Yes, seriously.
But I mean, in a commander game, sometimes all you have to do is 1 damage.
That's very true.
Looks like Dax might be ready to pull the trigger on the Lackey.
Yep.
The treasure, there's a lot riding on that card. Maybe it's a fog. Destroy Evil.
Oh.
That costs 2. That he did have a treasure.
From the Lackey.
Yeah, from the Lackey. He could have maybe blown up one of the attackers, but the other one still would have been attacking in.
Yeah.
He blocks with both of his creatures, and it's like not great. The Galandra is just gonna generate more cards. He just scoops it up. Okay, we're here for round 2. In first position, we've got Duke Slayer on Furnace Hellkite. Second position, we've got Bobby Fine. Is okay after the snowstorm showed up and is playing Composite Golem. In third position, we've got, I want to call him Poutine. It's Putoin. On Abdel, is it Patoween?
I think it's Patoween.
Okay, and then
That just sounds more cool.
yeah, it does sound a lot better. They're on Abdel Adrian, Sword Coast Sailor, and in fourth position we've got South again. Stuck in the fourth position all night on Galanra Galatian. Looks like we've already got a Lunark veteran out of Patoween, and then a Prismatic Lens from Duke. What do you think is the arch enemy of this pod going into it?
I always say, in this case, it's Abdel, just because it's Abdel. You know?
That's fair.
I even when it's a player who doesn't know how to use it, it can still have that threat.
Oh yeah,
it's Abdel.
If you've ever handed, I own one of these. I own an Abdel deck, and I've handed it to people, and you don't have to really know how it works. You just do the intuitive thing of flickering Abdel and drawing a bunch of cards and doing all the things, and you're just like, oh wait, this just does it, doesn't it? Oh, I guess we're infinite. And you're like, yep.
Yeah, and you're done.
But yeah, that's I think Furnace Hellkite is going to be doing a lot of the choosing who dies, at least first.
Fair chances.
So they're on the Cloud of Fairies. I've tinkered around with Abdel a little bit, and Cloud of Fairies is interesting because when you flicker Abdel, usually you're like, oh yeah, of course, I'm a flicker deck, I want to be untapping my lands. It's really similar to any of the mana rocks.
Yeah, it's the same concept. I feel just do a rock instead of it because it's removal wise.
Oh yeah. Maybe here you're happy that you have Cloud of Fairies because there's a Furnace Hellkite sitting across the table from you. But
the likelihood of seeing that consistently, you know. I think people like when it comes to fairies, it's just one of those cards. It's like a pet card in a way.
You see
my thought.
You see it do a lot of broken things, and I'm not saying it's like wrong. I think the best Abdel decks in the world, a lot of the time, will run it, and I'm trying to work my own thought process through it, which is why I'm testing. But yeah, Cloud of Fairies is one of those that I'm like not convinced on. I'm excited to see how it goes here. If I'm proved wrong, I'll cop to it.
I play Orzhov Abdel because I try to avoid playing blue.
Yeah, that was my New Year's resolution last year, was just play more blue, man. Just be the bad guy. It's so powerful. And throughout this year,
it is.
It is. It's every bit as powerful as I thought it was. And in ways that I hadn't really considered.
I literally am sitting here with my Gretchen deck. I'm like, I don't really play you. Do I just say whatever? But it's still blue Gretchen, blue. And then I have my TPI deck, and I'm like, and then I also have my Malcolm. I'm like, do I really play that much freaking blue?
I mean, sometimes it's good to win.
I know, and that's what it is. The decks just win.
Yep. Solving a ponder for Bobby here. I've been trying to figure out the name of this enchantment over here. Bitter Reunion.
Yeah.
That's going to be able to give the Hellkite haste on the turn it comes out. Yeah. Gross. So Bobby plays a second swamp into a Life Spark spell bomb.
I always love seeing the spell bombs that aren't your typical spell bombs.
Well, this one you see a lot because it's good for animating a land that you then put,
Correct.
all your enchantments, and you go infinite with it. But yeah, the known spell bombs are really the Aether spell bomb and the
Pyrite.
Pyrite spell bomb. Yeah. I mean, Executioner's Capsule feels like a spell bomb, but it's not.
Yeah, but it's just not. Yeah.
But a second swamp out of Bobby, if you've seen this list, it's like 70% Simic, maybe more. I don't know if there's more than 2 swamps in the whole deck. So that's kind of an awkward start, and I think maybe one of the reasons he was pondering.
Yeah.
Abdel plays an Inspiring Overseer, and then South very quickly plays Galanron passes.
Yeah.
Dwarven Mine out of Duke creates a dwarf, so that's where that's coming from.
Good curve when it comes to like getting it on the exact turn you get.
Just be able to curve out here and play Whisper Silk Cloak and an Urn of Godfire. The next turn, that's still only 3 artifacts, which puts Furnace Hellkite at 4, which is castable but not exciting. Bobby plays a Sakura Tribe Elder and finally puts his lands on the correct side of the table.
And you think that white border lands are a problem?
No, Bobby is always the problem, followed by white border.
Okay.
Seagate Oracle. It's going to look at the top 2. One in hand, and the other one on the bottom. Top 2.
I like the Oracle. I've always wanted to consider throwing in a lot of decks.
It holds the ground and replaces itself so well.
And that's what it comes down to.
It dodges a lot of people's Scryfall searches where they're like, oh, my deck needs card draw. Like, it just needs something to dump mana into. And they're like, colon draw. And then Seagate Oracle just gets sad. I like the flyers. It's a good way to chip in. And then they work really well when you play Abdel.
I do want to have one of these days where we do a pod of 4 different Abdel decks.
Yuck. Dibs blue.
Just see the monstrosity. Yeah. No, it'd be everything but blue. just for the... Because everyone probably want to play Abdel blue.
No, everyone's climbing over each other to play Abdel Black right now. It's like blue is the new...
I want to see Abdel Green just show out of nowhere.
Keep wishing.
Yeah, it's never going to be. Would you like an Abdel with a Guild Artisan?
That the Generate Treasures one?
Yeah.
Just a Glacian at a south, and then...
Yeah.
Duke. Play Furnace Hellkite. I'm probably going to give it haste here. Or just equip the Whisper Silk. That's pretty appealing.
That's probably the best route, in all honesty.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Rather than doing anything else. Because haste isn't as important right now, given the board state.
Yeah, a hit for 5 is not really that important when you can pump it up to like, +3 plus O is a whole turn faster.
Or,
I guess
yeah.
I guess the math I might be doing is like, does +5 plus O mean I can kill somebody next turn?
Mm-hmm.
That I might say yes for Bobby because I know what his deck is capable of. Like, I just assume Bobby can just like win out of nowhere pretty easily. I think he probably has to play a composite golem and let it
Oh, an
live.
expedite.
Oh, an expedite. That's another way to do it if you need your card.
Interesting.
It is an attack, and it is at Bobby.
Yep. Oh, and House wrote in the chat, Patois. It's Patouin is a French name, so it may be Patouin.
I think, is that an A or a U? You're not going to be able to tell. I have a higher resolution than you. You're getting downscaled to 720 right now.
I'm just all hoping for the best.
Hey, it's working.
All right.
There was an end step sacrifice of Sakura Tribe Elder for Bobby. And I think that the position we're in is if Bobby can play Composite Golem, have it wheel, he'll probably win. I think that Duke Slayer probably kills him on his next turn. So Bobby has to choose a different route. Here's a 4. Deep analysis.
Someone, I looked it up, it says Patwan. Is a all pronunciation, so it may be Patwan.
Yes, that is an A.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to go with that then.
Yep. All right, Bobby is not as much as he needs to be right now.
Judging by the life totals, I think that these flyers have been going at south. I guess the Cloud of Fairies may have gone once at Bobby or something. Or the Lunarch Veteran, I'm not sure.
I feel the preface right now of figuring out who the quote unquote threat is by each player is a little up in the air. Like Pat might just be like, do I go after Bobby knowing that what Bobby's deck can do if he knows, but then you have like Voltron that could hit me in a one shot, and then you also have Simic the Simic combo, like
I mean, Pat did end up attacking Duke. They were at 30,
yeah.
fell to 27. So they believe they are scared of the giant dragon. It's interesting that they're scared of the dragon, but tapping their flyers to attack it.
Yeah.
The
There might be because of a 3 mana, there might be a follow up to something. Like a flicker itself.
a generous gift.
Gen gift. Okay. Interesting time to use it now.
It makes a lot of sense if it's against a blue deck. But no, it's against
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I would have waited for like the declared attacks and then see how much of a dump would be.
Oh yeah, there's a non-zero chance that it just attacks Bobby a second time and
Correct.
just completely removes him from the game. And it's not like Red has protection other than that Whisper Silk Cloak, and that's like sorcery speed.
It's definitely a confusing one.
Didn't make the elephant.
Ooh.
That's a good point, Erosium. Maybe I can... I sent a message to Bobby. Yeah, thank you, Erosium. So what's going on? So other than that, there's an Aether Snipe. That looks like South played. When that enters, it returns a creature to its owner's hand, or a permanent. Looking for one that left. I guess you can't find something that's not there.
Yeah, generally.
Oh, it was the Whisper Silk Cloak, because we see that redeployed here.
Oh, okay, yeah. In the chat, someone goes, "What is cPDH? Is competitive pauper commander, where everything is commons other than commander being uncommon."
Yep, life total starts at 30, commander damage is 16. Best format. Kind of interesting that Duke didn't replay Furnace Hellkite. Would have taken all 4 of their mana, but they must have something else. Bobby plays an Explorer, draws a card, and is able to make an additional land drop this turn, although he doesn't immediately slam it. Hasn't made his original land drop, I believe. So Bobby had aggro of the Furnace Hellkite. Now there's no huge threat at the table other than the existential threat of combo.
Correct.
What I'm trying to say, I guess, is there's no pressure right now other than to just
just
race
chill.
to end the game. Just accrue resources, do whatever you want. You've got time. Bobby did play his land. He's going to discard. That a displace and a gold card. It's turn, and here's the
Bobby's
Abdo.
probably just digging for something, you know. There's Abdo. Abby Dabby.
Bobby's holding up both a blue and a white, and then a green. So that could be a fog. But Abdel gonna be making probably 5 to 6 dudes here.
He might just best to just do everything.
It's usually best. Some people like to leave
Yeah.
Swordco Sailor out sometimes, but I don't think this is the situation.
Yeah, not at the current state right now. There's no need to be swinging into anything particularly.
This is the requisite. Abdel has hit the stack. Let's have a conversation. If you're not familiar with Abdel, by now, it's a 4/4 that when it enters, exiles any number of permanents. You get a 1/1 for each one exiled, and then when Abdel leaves the battlefield, they all come back. So it's just a great way to flicker your entire board. It's a huge force multiplier. Absolute boogeyman of the format. I think it won multiple tournaments in 2023 and then kind of fell off because everybody didn't want to let it win another game. And so it pivoted to black.
Pretty much.
And it's still having the same problem. In my own testing with the deck, I mean my what do you call it? Oh, this is a breath weapon.
Oh.
They're gonna kill 3 of those creatures before Abdel hits the field.
That is a response.
Yeah, it's also gonna take out Galanra and the dwarf.
Yep. That's a very good response.
Yeah, so he's only going to make 3 creatures. You could play it after and kill all the tokens, but it's not about the tokens. It's about all of the value that's going to generate the next time you flicker Abdel.
Exactly.
There's no rocks, importantly, for Abdel. That's how it generates mana and is able to do its loops. Is it needs some, at least one colored source, and then enough mana to pay for the rest of the flicker, and then maybe like an Archaeomancer effect that can bring it back. Is on 7 mana. Turn 6. Wander comes back out. Aether Snipe hits the red zone. Yeah, good attacks on Duke and Bobby. Abdel doesn't care.
No. It's like you do you.
It's got so many 1/1s. I guess they just pass with 2 open blue. It's threatening a counterspell.
There's something rewarding about leaving 2 blue open.
Absolutely.
And then when it comes back to your turn and no one like did anything kind of ordeal, like, oh yeah, I did that.
Live in fear. I don't even have it.
Yeah.
Feels like everything is very threatening. Abdel hit the board. That was able to go through. Now Furnace Hellkite is coming out.
Yep.
And if it comes out,
It can have, yeah.
then it's going to be able to be equipped with. It either has haste or you can equip it. Both of those are really
now
bad.
is when you definitely want to equip it right now.
That was
Something
that was where
a
both
lot
of our
more
head was at.
development.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Take 2 more mana tapped. Kunk says that his money is on Golem. That's pretty fair. It's coming up to like turn 7 or 8, which is when I think that the Golem can probably just win out of nowhere. It probably wants to play its Golem and then I don't know. It does need some setup. It can't just, as much as it feels like these decks win out of nowhere, unless there's like a Drake involved or like lots of mana sources. Usually I need at least like an Arbor Elf in play.
One extra thing, yeah.
Still in Duke's turn. He's paid 2. Okay, yeah, and it does go on top of the Whisper Silk Cloak.
They've made the right moves.
They have 7, so next turn Furnace could attack for so much. 12? Potentially 13 with another land drop. It's already hit Bobby, so that's lethal.
Correct. So Bobby might be tough to like really just dump something down right now.
Yeah. Unless he's got a fog, that's something that I expect out of a. It's mostly a Simic deck. Out of a Simic deck, I expect fogs. I've also seen the list. He's got Deep Analysis still in the graveyard. I think. Nope, it's not. It's
No,
exile.
he cast that earlier.
I see. That's how he went from 24 to 21.
Yep. Baruni.
You think he's thinking about just jamming Composite Golem?
Yeah, the thought is definitely there.
It's like, okay, if things go wrong, I sack the Golem, I pay for my spell. If
If you
things go
see in
well...
that, I don't know how many cards are in Pat's hand as well.
I guess
6 mana available on his following. But again, there's only 3 underneath Abdel right now, which is not really much going on in there.
Yeah, there's no mana sources. None of them are Archaeomancer effects. That Abdel is pretty impotent right now.
Correct. So it's like...
Something I hadn't considered a minute ago was that Life Spark Spellbomb can represent the Arbor Elf I was talking about before. Just activate that, cast High Tide, start going from there. Get the job done.
He put the golem down and passed.
I think he really doesn't want to get attacked, but that
Correct.
if someone has a composite golem out, attack them.
Yeah.
Irem Visionary?
Interesting. Scry can be something.
Scry 2 and then draw. Seam chimes in and says, my money's also on Composite Golem. Everyone keeps tapping out.
Shit.
Let's see. Furnace Hellkite's looking pretty good about now. Oh. This is a Wormfang Drake.
Oh, okay.
So it's a 3/4 when it comes in. I forgot the word, but it has flying, and when it enters, you can exile something else. Imprint. You imprint a card, a creature, it goes under it. And so how's that? This is where Abdel gets mind melting. Between that and then, I don't think like that itself is infinite. You need another piece at least, but like that plus like a Journey to Nowhere, I think you're able to loop the 3. Anyway, this is a piece, I think.
I think it's a piece.
In a good way.
Yeah. Alright, let me read.
I think we're just resolving the leaves trigger.
Yeah, it's just another O-ring effect. So he just needs one more piece to create the loop. But if someone interacts, so here's the thing. You could give you a reason as a full removal exile effect if you stack the triggers properly. Because it's 2 separate triggers.
Yeah, that's true. For O-Ring?
No, Wormfang Drake.
It's only your
That's
own
2 separate
creatures.
lines.
If you wanted to permanently exile your own creature, yes.
It'd be good if I just read the whole fucking card. You're annoying with people. I'm reading the cards. As you can see, I don't read, so I just play aggro. Just turn sideways.
No, you gotta play that blue Threaten and then Wormfang Drake it.
Yep.
think they're gonna pass. That's a great wall for the Hellkite. The 3/4 flying. That if it dies, Abdel comes back, and we get to go through the whole, get all the
Mini loop again, yeah.
yeah. Is this okay? We have another 6-mana blue creature that I can't identify.
I'm trying to figure. I think it's from a Ravnica set, maybe. It's a 4/4, so it's just a power 4 toughness 4.
It's Hot Shot Investigators. It's when it enters the battlefield, return up to one other target creature to its owner's hand. If you controlled it, investigate. So that returned
like 3 seconds before I found her.
I think that returned Composite Golem, and we've got all this mana in play as a response.
And they're moving around the Drake now just to show, hey, look. So someone pointed that out.
So
Echoing Truth?
why did... Oh.
Well, I think Bobby was bringing up, or someone was bringing up the Drake as like a quote-unquote threat as opposed to bouncing the whatchamacallit, potentially. And I was echoing Truth something. Glacian goes back to hand.
Turn Glacian.
The choice.
I'm confused. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
There's a reason. I know there is.
Because given the fact, like now, like there's 12 in the year right now with the furnace. It's an immediate turn sideways.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm missing something.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, chat, they're asking what just happened. As far as I can tell, I think that the either what do we call it? The Hotshot Investigators must have targeted an Abdel token, and then Bobby sacrificed. Maybe Bobby was like, "Oh, you're gonna return my guy? How about I sack him instead, and you target, I don't know, anything else, an Abdel token maybe." And they say, okay, go ahead and sack it. And he does, and then he uses the mana for an Echoing Truth. That is the only way I can make that sequence make sense.
Yeah.
He bounced what? Glacian.
Yeah.
And an Abdel token. I don't know, man.
That's the guesses.
It looks like, man, where did the Hellkite go?
Yeah, I just see it turning sideways, and I'm like, hey, what's going on?
It must be that Pat took 5 or something.
But why would you just do a flat 5? It just seems.
I guess 3 went into it. I don't know. Wish I did. Okay, so this is some kind of archivist where it can tuck cards on the bottom. Cogwork Archivist. 6 mana, 4/5 reach. Pay 2, tap it, activate it. Target put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. So a good way of stopping other people's combos and putting cards back in your deck so that you can combo again. Or as a Shrine Steward.
Okay. That's
Steward? That makes more sense. Yep,
yeah.
it is. Thank you, House. I'm dumb.
Well, some of those cards, like, it's so, like, yeah.
Cogwork Archivist is standing roughly in the same position, I just gotta say. Yeah, tutors for an aura, you were right. Usually finds freed from the real. It which shall not be named.
Yeah, seriously.
Go look for Thassa's Oracle?
in a sense, yeah.
Oh, there's an Arcane Denial out of South. After some discussion.
That's a good choice.
Draws his 2 cards, South draws 1, and we're on to Pat's turn. But Cogwork has reach. I know, Rosium. Stonehorn Dignitary can target a player and they skip their next combat step. Unless chat says otherwise, and then it'll just be a different card entirely.
Nah, that's Stalwart.
This, I don't remember the name of it, but it's a 4-mana 3/3 that when it enters, your creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn.
That's interesting.
Yeah, if you've got as many tokens as an Abdel deck does, sometimes it starts to look a little appealing. I'll put an additional 1, 2, 3. Puts an additional 5 attackers, or 5 power worth of attackers this turn, and it only had 2 tokens. It's called Ampyryn Tactician. Ampryn. I've never heard that word before. Does not have reach. Unlike Cogwork Archivist. I think we're deciding who to attack now.
I can only imagine what's going in the mind of South Lakes.
Just like fight, flight, or freeze. Just like Frozen. Like, don't look at me. Don't.
Yep. I don't have anything on my board.
So you have to assume that the Stonehorn Dignitary targeted Duke. Because Duke has the most powerful combat step, bar none.
Correct.
So then, does that affect who you attack? Do you try to wipe out someone else first?
Possibly at the given rates, you know.
Yeah, I guess looking at the 3 of his attackers only have, even with the buff, 2 power, and so they could only go at Bobby. So it looks like they did. It looks like Duke may have prioritized the 3/3 over blocking maybe the Serum Visionary at 3/3, but then Bobby took the other 4 or 6, something.
4, I think.
That or it just all went at Duke. I'm not sure. I thought Bobby was at 21. So if he took 3
It was just
from the
over 20,
Serum,
yeah.
if he took the 3 from Serum Visionary and all 3 of the other tokens, well, the 2 tokens and the Seagate Oracle, when at Duke blocks at the 3/3, kills the token, take 4. That kind of makes sense.
Lucian's back.
Value engine chugs along. Has the actual Glacian activated?
No, not. Well, the thing is, he's got 1 artifact technically. Oh, 2 total,
Mhm.
I think. Yeah, 'cause the other ones are just it's just the lands.
It is even with 1, you can tap it to put a card in your hand at least.
Yeah.
Does at least contribute by being a 6-mana spell.
At least it repeats itself, like replaces properly.
So it looks like there was an attack from south on against Abdel.
No, it was Bobby's lower now.
Oh, Bobby took it?
Yeah, it's Bobby.
So
Yeah, very
was
weird.
it was before the heck? So where did this bounce spell go? Did that just discard to hand size?
Yeah, that was to hand size. That's what it looks like anyway.
Grab the prize discarding Flaring Pain?
Oh.
So they're going to take 2, and Flaring Pain can be flashed back to make it so damage can't be prevented. That's hilarious. Max value.
That is a value. I so just think that South Ace just got to come out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's building up. This is the turn where Duke doesn't get a combat phase.
Which is good. I think that's a far bigger impact than anything else right now on the board.
Looks like Duke played a Voltaic Servant, a 1/3 artifact at the beginning of your end step, untap target artifact. Like, funny way to give your Hellkite Vigilance, or generate a little bit of extra
No,
mana.
you can't target.
I mean, yeah, usually. Right now, no.
But yeah, it was like right now.
No.
Like, no.
Not non-bow.
Yeah. All right, Bobby is putting those cards quite a bit right now.
Looks like just played a land and passed.
Yeah. Okay.
Not gonna sit there and try to rub the cards together to see if he can make another one come out. Just, I don't have anything to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll hold up my spell bomb. Look at how much Abdel is a problem. Attack him now.
Yeah. Go.
5. That's the dreaded Peregrine Drake number.
Yes, it is.
Could just be like a mnemonic wall or something. I'm trying to think. Where's Abdel?
It's sitting in the corner.
So it's in play. Question mark?
Yeah.
So when the Drake died, the Abdel was supposed to come
Yeah.
back, and I'm surprised that everything's not
No,
tucked.
I think it was zoned. But his mana still only 5 many tap, so maybe it was handed. And then on the stack, he did
Is
the
it?
pirate.
Oh, is it that Abdel is on the stack? That was the 5 mana spell.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then he replied with
fiery
a word wave.
cannonade again. Duke likes making this play.
Yeah.
Follows it up with a fiery. What do you call it? Thunderclap. Looks
Oh,
like on the
damn.
Stonehorn. Had to add those two together. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. There's not a bunch of one toughness draw card creatures now. This just gets rid of a token, and it was it's
Followed up with the displace, though. Look.
yeah. Oh,
Displace with the Stoneheart. Oh.
so
That was
so Duke 3-for-1'd himself to try to make this happen, and it's
Yep.
not going to. 4-for-1. I have a bolt. No, I want my combat step. I have to fight you. You know who wins this? Probably Bobby and South.
just imagine.
It's kind of like as the more interaction that Duke spends on this, uh, the worse it gets if it's not successful. Because, like, okay, you're not going to do this. Okay, you lose a combat step, and then Abdel hits, and then you lose another combat step later. And yeah, Rosium says Duke just can't win with Dignitary on the board.
No.
I think that's the case. Oh, they're saying, Bobby, can you get involved?
Bobby, do something.
Come on, you don't want him to have a combat step either. Save my Dignitary. Duke says, don't you dare. You better don't. I hear my dog yapping. I'm going to be right back.
Okay. All right. Let's see what the responses are. All right, displace did resolve. Star Wars back over there. The fact that he had the Star Wars at that exact moment was like the right timing. You could tell that there was going to be an interaction with the Abdel, so it was the right time. Even though it was like a 3-for-1, it still shows that the reflection of the timing was properly done.
I'm back.
Gucci Gooch.
What'd you say to me?
Gucci Gooch. All right.
Finally resolving. Choose these 5 permanents.
Right. Yep.
Maybe?
No, at this point, just dump it all.
Oh, definitely.
Honesty, in my opinion.
If you can get to that phase, if people keep passing priority.
Yep. I think he's got, like I said, no other choice than to just do that right now.
Yeah, seems good. Abdel player with Abdel in play is happy. So, did that Stonehorn dignitary? So I'm getting a chat from Bobby. That Stonehorn dignitary went under Abdel, right? Just now? Is that the second
Oof.
thing? I think.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be.
So Bobby is saying it's supposed to be under there. The stack is resolved correctly. It's
No,
that.
because what happened was, um, well, I don't remember that because we don't hear. If it was, Abdel was cast before targets were chosen, would determine whether or not it's under there. If it was cast in response, cast the cannonade, then it would be. But if he cast it, select the targets, then cast the cannonade, it would not because he displaced it. So the target wouldn't have a legal target at that point.
Well, I think it's something like. So the damage, the damage wasn't enough. I don't know. To where if with the flicker resolving, I'm not. I don't know. I mean, Bobby seems to be under the impression that the whole table is under the impression that the creature lived and it should be under there, and that there was some kind of punt with effects not resolving in time. I don't know. Let me see. Doesn't make sense.
Yo no comprendo.
Okay, so it was fiery cannonade on the stack,
Yep,
and then
I got that.
so the fiery cannonade hadn't resolved, and then they follow it up with a thunderclap, and they
Okay,
respond to that with blink.
correct.
And if they bolt on top of that, since the fiery cannonade hadn't resolved yet, when the bolt resolves, it doesn't kill it. The blink still resolves, flickers it, and then the thunderclap is fizzled, and then the fiery cannonade resolves. So if Duke had instead said, "I play this fiery cannonade," and everyone said, "Nani? Like what? What's why?" And then you just say, "Does it resolve?" And you say, "Yes." Okay, and then you do everything else on top. Then you're rewarded. But if you do it that way, where you're like, "I'm going to also do this. I'm going to hold priority." You don't. Maybe he doesn't even say, "I hold priority," but you just get so many question marks from the other side of the table that
Yeah,
you're like, I have to like prove this is why I'm doing this, but then the sequencing is weird.
could be that.
Anyway, crazy. It's not game over for Duke though.
No.
That the Stonehorn Dignitary did flicker once, and if Abdel's able to untap and do their thing, it's gonna keep doing it. But
Correct.
that's not necessarily what's gonna happen. So there was a capsize on Duke's end step to return. Was it Glacian again, or Gold? One of those. Neither of them are in play.
Just doing a bunch of bouncies,
Trying to hang in there, stay alive. I think he's
pretty much.
1 mana short on being able to replay Composite Golem. Is he? Let's see.
8.
No, yeah, I think he's got 8. So maybe he's finally ready. He could have it, but not be ready to do it. It's probably what's going on. Yep, 2.
He might be waiting on one more thing. You never know. Was it Revived Shire?
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. It is a Revive the
Yeah.
Shire. Yep. Bobby grabs his Sanctuary food token. Very on brand. Now people will know what Sanctuary is.
Yep. That's why he was so late to the deck. He had to find the right token.
Alright, we've gotta play 4 mana out of Abdel. This is a dungeon card? This is called Veteran Dungeoneer. 3/4 human warrior for 4 mana. When it enters the battlefield, venture into the dungeon. And it looks like they chose Lost Mine of Phandelver. That's actually my favorite dungeon as well.
Huh?
I mean, Undercity is of course the best, but
Yeah.
people used to say that the dungeon of the was it the Tomb of the Mad Mage?
Yeah, the Tomb.
That's the one that everyone used to say was the best, and I think it's because at the end it does like a bad impression of the Throne of the Dead 3 from the Undercity. But it takes so long to get through, and I think people were that were like saying those things were in decks that were just like so fast at completing the dungeon because they were like standard decks or whatever.
True.
But in PDH, where venturing the dungeon is a lot harder, it's shorter. That's just it. Like, you just want your card.
Yeah.
Also the one that I use to loop through and kill people.
Good one to loop, that's for sure.
So Abdel does get in the red zone. There was somebody in chat giving this Abdel player a hard time for not attacking one turn where they could have. Stu says that Sanctuary food token could have been a cross promotion with White Castle. We don't have those here. So I think it's a little pie in the picture. Was White Castle have little pies?
No, they do not. It's mini sliders. And crinkle cut fries. We don't have them here in Rhode Island, but I get them every time I go to Vegas. And I also buy the individual ones because I'm obsessed with what's called White Castle. My eyes are always bigger than my stomach every time I go. I usually buy 30 and then eat about 24. I still eat a chunk, but not as many as I feel I can.
That's got to be a ton of food. 24 of anything.
Correct. Well, they're little. They're not like large. So there's that. The little sliders. If that makes it any bit different.
So Glacian's being played for, I don't know, the 5th time, something like that. Dude says, you know it's high quality when they sell it in a sack.
Yeah, 100%.
Good late night food for sopping up alcohol. That's what I've heard.
That is also extremely true.
It's like we're either South just finished attacking or we're into Duke's turn. Duke didn't do a whole lot last. Yeah, he played the Voltaic Servant last turn, so we're officially there.
Yeah, things like Duke keeps getting hit with the skip your turn combat. That's the unfortunate thing.
Suspect that we're now in his end step and Bobby's activating a food. Oh. Sacrifice either Spellbomb to bounce something on South's field. Maybe Galanra?
That'd be my thought.
It's an attack at a Duke. I thought that the Stonehorn. I don't know. The Orchid Strider. Thank you, Erosium, again.
Consistent clutch.
It's surprisingly hard to like commentate and like be able to identify things that you're like, oh yeah, if I was just like relaxing there, of course I know that. But when you're like asked to know all of them,
specifically every time.
Yeah. Thank you. Rosim says we're doing great.
The crazy thing is, a lot of the times, like, we're only doing with commons. There's people who commentate like regular EDH.
Yeah, that would be really hard. I've done Legacy. 60 card formats are pretty easy because like, if you memorize the 20 decks or whatever that are in a format, maybe there's 30, then you're pretty much set.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, crossover between them. There's a lot of crossover in PDH decks, but like, any singleton format's going to be really hard. And then as you increase the card pool and like, people love their decks that are like, ooh, this gets to play with a bunch of cards that no one else does. That makes it particularly difficult. So it looks like Abdel's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, in a...
There's that.
Quite.
That just straight up happened.
Yeah, they were getting pretty scary.
Yeah, I think they could have followed up on their next turn. Or at least been very close to cleaning it out.
They're only getting scarier. So do you think that bounce from Bobby on the Orchid Strider was just as an incentive of like, this isn't in your way, you can attack south?
Yeah, possibly.
Erosium, I don't know if I have the Stonehorn correct. Now, like, I was looking at that, I'm like, 4 lands tapped. I think that the turn that they did that, they had like all of them tapped, so another whole turn must have passed. And I just like lost track of time. That this is like enough later and there wasn't a flicker drawn. Like we just assumed that there was going to be. That they had a combat step. They just waited long enough and they ran out of Stonehorns. I've actually been a big advocate. I've been talking to Hive about Wilson that I was like, you need to take Stonehorn out of this deck just yesterday. I was always advocating for that. It's finally out. But it's just like, you kind of lock people under it, but they get out.
And that's the truth. Unless you're able to effectively set the combo where you're flickering consistently over and over and over really quickly and be able to do it every single turn. But even at that point, though, if you're at that point, why are you relying on that?
Yeah, or you could do something like that is more proactive, more double purpose. It's like for a 4-mana spell, it's very narrow.
Yeah.
And it can get you killed, like we saw there. Because it just represents like the complete removal of someone else's win condition. So if they get a combat step, they know where it's going. It's like the same thing that happens with Pestilence.
Right.
That doesn't change a lot of the dynamic as far as like Abdel doesn't contribute almost any like removal to the table. So it's not like that was holding anybody back. It's just kind of a timing thing. Bobby's going for a dizzy spell. be able to make that one out. I'm trying to.
Yeah, that glitters way too much.
I was thinking crop rotation, but that's not it.
I think it's. Nope.
It looks green with an old text box.
Correct, yeah.
I'll send Bobby an all caps message that says what you tutor for.
Yeah. Fix your lights. Or glare no good.
Because a tutored card can really affect everyone's behavior. Sadistic Glee. Yeah, that one will do it.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, single black. This one's tearing up the 60 card pauper scene. Whenever any creature is put into graveyard from play, put a +1/+1 counter on enchanted creature. This one's known for going infinite with Basking Broodscale, which Bobby absolutely plays. Also an easy one to enable, since Sadistically is only a single black to play, and then the lizard is only 2, and you just have to like put that on it, activate the adapt, and then your creature's infinitely large. You've got infinite death triggers, and it does generate infinite mana. The composite bolt golem can translate that mana into any color, and then he's already got capsize in hand, so that's the payoff. I think he's going for that capsize. Veil of Secrecy. Veil of Secrecy. Target creature is unblockable and can't be the target of spells or abilities this turn. So it must have been an attack on Bobby from the 2 creatures. I'm going to bounce one of them. No, you don't. Bobby dies. We're down to the 1v1. I think Furnace Hellkite loves being in a 1v1.
Yes, it's favorite day, you know?
Yeah. Lens. You have quite a bit of mana. That's 4, 7, 8, plus a couple of tokens. It's enough to ward off an attack. If the thing didn't have Shroud. There are things that do it. I guess so. If you're considering, oh yeah, he's just probably got a fog. I think there's still a Flaring Pain in the graveyard. Double strike on not your commander.
It's still good to do it.
I'll put it back in my hand. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not terrible on the elephants. Another 3.
It's still 3.
Maybe if they weren't at 22, that would be good, but...
Correct.
Just, yeah, chip in, maybe hold up the urn, activate where you can. Let's just see what they do. An important attack.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like they just go for activate for 3 to put you at 8 so that commander damage is lethal. Awkwardly, that's
So yeah, because there's plenty of mana where it's like you don't want to unequipped the cloak and risk. All right, what's that bird looking thing?
it's something reality
Phase.
ripple.
Yep, more phasing.
Yep, target artifact, creature, or land phases out.
And then he bounces it.
So phase out your equipment, and then bounces it.
That is called synergies.
Well, you come prepared to deal with non-creature things sometimes.
I think that was an instance where he should have swung with both just to see.
You got pretty good blocks if you leave both back, since they're 4/4s.
Yeah.
Another response. Piracy Charm. You'll never guess what this one does.
I love this. I love seeing that.
It phases it out again. So it seems like we're going to treat both the Hellkite and the Whisper Cloak as if they don't exist.
Yep.
So Duke showed up without a commander today.
Yeah.
Crazy that. South's turn. They still do have to recover from all of the bouncing that was done. This is an Orchestrator.
Food.
What? Strider. Orchard Strider. I called it Orchid. Yeah, it creates two foods.
Some say it that way.
Orchard.
Yeah. Orchid.
I hear it now.
Yeah.
So that the 4/4 attacked into Duke, and it looks like Duke just took it again.
It might just be that's the best he can do for now, as opposed to like trying to risk losing.
Huh. I mean, I feel like at some point you gotta use the elephant, but there is. Oh, here's the assault strobe. Can you stop me again? Everything's phased back in. It's lost summoning sickness. Or I guess it never had it. It lost it forever ago.
Because it lost. Yeah.
Oh,
There's the phasing again. Yeah.
How do you get that back?
I'm trying to figure the exact same thing right now.
Or is it I use it? Oh wait, no, I can't. Or something. No, what? Maybe he was just waving it around like it phased back in.
Could be.
Hope you can't hear that. The dog is going nuts.
Just a little jingle jangle.
She's hyped. She gets the zoomies, and she likes to do this loop behind my a little like nightstand and a table. There's a space behind it.
Like,
She
we
can just
play now.
she just flies through it. Faster the better. Yeah, after this, I'm gonna take her for a walk. Oh. Look at your toy. Okay, so it looks like we did put the furnace Hellkite face down. I've thought about trying to figure out a way to have like the audio from the game come through to me. It sounds like
there's ways to do it. It's beta software. You
yeah.
capture the audio from one. So what you do is what's it called? Where's my stuff? I'll tell you the name of it. It's an extent. Do you use OBS or Streamlabs?
Oh, I have OBS.
There's an extension called.
Oh, it's a Chrome extension.
Application. There's a bunch of
or an OBS extension.
Yeah, I'll plug it. Sorry, it's application audio capture beta.
Ah.
So what you can do with that one, you can have it capture just the audio from Discord, and then have everything else play. Because you got music playing, the regular desktop audio playing, it will just capture just the specific things, like that one channel, or whatever you're trying to capture the audio from.
Yeah, part of the problem is I already have to have a like I'm talking to you in one Discord, and then I have browser Discord going, and so the audio would be coming from browser Discord.
It'd be jank, but yeah.
I could figure it out. I don't know. I'll probably won't though. It's listening to that 4 people plus you plus try to keep everything straight sounds a little bit nightmarish. On top of just the setup.
Really fair.
I mean, you could come back, and if you had an alt account, you could just listen in and tell me what they're talking about.
I do have a secondary account for when I do the events, so.
See, just pass the buck, make someone else do the work.
I literally made a second account because it's so difficult to try to pay attention and like not have random sounds just turn on.
So, it looks like Duke has lived. He's gotten another untap step. Or... yeah, and is maybe asking... or is this the end step? And they're asking what reach creatures that they have, and is sacrificing the Urn of Godfire to get rid of that. And then, yeah, it goes to untap step. Creature phases back in. And here we are.
This should be it, I believe.
There's an Aether Spell Bomb for South, so I think Duke's... oh, wait. No, Duke can... oh, they do it in combat. I was like, oh, they can just redeploy it. Yeah, just not fast enough. They can give it haste. They just don't have another combat. Can maybe help block. There is a 4/4 that's been attacking. That's pretty good for that. It looks like in response to equipping Whisper Silk Cloak, there's going to be a ram through.
Okay, ram that can.
Yeah, they've got a reach trampler, so it's gonna probably kill the Hellkite, do an extra 1 damage to Duke, and then South's gonna untap and end the game.
Yeah.
Those, man, Simic value pile. I was impressed with the what do you call it? The Risen Reef list we started in RAW that was just like, yeah, it's just a bunch of Simic creatures and it draws a bunch of cards and makes some mana, and eventually we just do our
Just
thing.
do.
Yeah, just attack them. Is this an ancient Finclade fugitives?
And then ramp through.
Looks like Finclade fugitives. It's the 7/4,
Yeah.
can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. They're paying the 5 for the Encore, so that just exiles it out of the graveyard. Makes a token copy that's attacking Duke. They attack for about a floppity jillion. And that's it. Yeah, stream closed.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's going to be a stream. Everybody tune in next time. We do this every Friday. I do some light editing and post the videos to the Sanctuary YouTube if you want to check those out. Chris, do you have anything you want to push?
I have my tournament come in January 25th next month, so make sure you stick around and come back for that. Signups are on my website, and also the links that are all on the channels right now. Biggest thing you want to focus on is uncommon planeswalkers are going to be available to use as your commander for this event, so try that. And I'm probably going to put a bounty on the amount of planeswalkers I see in the event, so even more money.
So cool.
Is that?
Yeah, I've put it on my calendar. I don't think I've actually like signed up and gave you money yet, but I definitely plan to. I'm very thankful that you run these tournaments, and also thank you to Bobby for hosting the Sanctuary stuff that we're doing now, and maybe show up next time on time.
Hell yeah.
Bobby. Okay, have a good one. Bye.
Bye, people.